You are live. Well, good evening, everybody. Let's see. Been a week or two since we've been on. We'll give it a few minutes here and see how it gets in here. So, what are you doing over there, David? Hiding. All right. Well, good evening and welcome back. Glad to be back. I have phone calls now. Better turn mine down too. So, what was you doing so important last week that we missed?
Well, now that we're turned down.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. So last week, once a month, the kids have a 4-H meeting, and last week, so Ella is also part of. Let me explain that part. Ella is a secretary. She's on the board for their 4-H club, and each member has to have a presenter come in for a project and just kind of tell the tell the kids about them, and I don't know, give like a demonstration type thing. So they've had that's better actually. So they've had like vets in and a CNI dog, or like a protection dog, a PTSD guy, um, the different things like that. And so Ella's turn was this past week, and she chose
Us, yeah.
us to um, share what we do here on our farm and give a little bit of a different perspective, I guess, than what kids normally hear about agriculture. So anyways,
So,
that's what we did. Was we did a little bit of presenting.
did
And
presenting, and then we did a lot of community after that, I guess, technically. So,
yeah, we
did
did.
some introductions and had quite a few questions and all
Yep.
of that stuff. So,
Yep. Met some neighbors that were coming in. Quite a few new folks coming into our area from out of state. So it was good to connect with some of those and their kids in 4-H. And so, yeah, it was good.
well, good evening, Hippocrates and Big Kid. So, I'm not sure what the Hippocrates said that it was Alicia Apaches for his 4-H. His mom was
Oh,
the agent. So,
okay.
I'm not sure what is their 4-H is called. Their club. Their 4-H.
Spring Hill Go Getters.
Go Getters.
And I have no idea how names come up
That's when they formed it. Whenever they formed it, they did it that way.
because, like, there's two other groups in the region. One is called, like, Busy Bees or something like that. And
Yep. Big
so,
Kid
yeah.
asked, "What's your most satisfying part of farming?"
Hmm.
I can tell you what mine is, so it's not in silence. I guess
Go
I
ahead.
I don't get to do it very often, but I truly my passion, my satisfying is when I'm able to bring that nutrient dense food, that farming, whether it be the beef or the vegetables, to the people. I don't get to do that part very often, but that's what I truly enjoy doing is being able to talk about how we do it, why we do
Yeah.
it, and then being able to see the people engage and um, actively be able to have that food.
I'd say that's probably right because the
You can't copy.
well, no, I'm thinking, it's satisfying to do the gardening. It's satisfying to mess with the animals. It's the whole thing is satisfying, but overall, the end goal of that is, like you said, is you know when you talk with people, you talk with your customers, and they are appreciative of the good food and the work that you're putting in to give them something to eat, a better choice, that that feels really good. So even though it is all satisfying, that really just, I
I don't
guess,
know.
is above
I'm
all
going to adjust this because I am getting cut off.
the.
Hey, there we go. I think that works a little bit better. Maybe a little too high, but so yeah. I mean, it's to me that's the thing is I do enjoy the farming part. It's extremely hard work, which I do find gratifying. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that we go through that aren't so gratifying. Losing animals, um, putting in a lot of work and losing a crop just because of through no fault of our own, maybe weather or something like that, and that gets real challenging mentally. But then there's a physical aspect of just being out in the heat all the time, the physical
Yeah,
labor because we don't
all the
do
elements.
tractor work with the vegetables at least and stuff like that. And then it's time. I mean, the struggle of time for us is a lot just trying to keep up with everything and that. So I think that's really I enjoy all that, but it's not really the most satisfying part. The most satisfying part to me is, if nothing else, is the education of what we do and why we do it, and then being able to share that with the people. And the food is the bonus, really.
The food is the bonus, and the main goal is creating community around it all.
So Big Kid had said for him, it's creating all the spaces and places to grow. I'm not much of a people person, and I wouldn't call myself. I am the most social person you'll ever meet, probably. I can
Yeah.
I can stay completely in my own corner, but um, I can get out there and mingle with the best of them too. I don't know. I'm kind of a chameleon, I guess. I don't know. But good evening, Spags.
Any talk.
Well, I talk about things I enjoy.
Well,
I can really
everybody does that.
well,
For the most part, I guess everybody
yeah.
does it.
I can guess I can carry a conversation on things that I don't necessarily enjoy. And
Yes, but those
that's
that you are that that you are passionate about is, yeah,
oh yeah.
it can get a very detailed, in-depth conversation
I go
pretty
too deep a
quickly.
lot of times. I've been told. So
Pretty quickly.
Hippocrates says, especially food that doesn't need to come from a prescription for heart meds, diabetes meds. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so to go with that, one of our customers today had picked up. We've got spinach coming out of the garden, and she said, "I really don't want to get back on potassium pills, so I am going to be eating the heck out of your spinach," so that she, at least gets a little bit back more into her system. And then we had to talk about microgreens and um, adding that in there too, so that she gets those nutrients. So yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, kale last night. We just did the video on kale last night, and that's one of the things with kale's potassium. So
Hmm.
that's the research that she could do, or you could do, and I could do for. We have a dog fight behind us. What is the most potassium dense microgreen there is?
True.
So again, that's one of those things that's helping people connect with food. That another thing with farming is being able to educate or connect people with they have an ailment and saying, okay, well, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And then maybe finding those foods that are potassium dense
Yeah.
um, and stuff. So AMC, good evening,
Good
and
evening.
Hilltop watching while it's peeled potatoes. So
Ooh,
it's a good thing to be doing.
that
So
is a good thing.
okay. So we talked about that. What's been going on besides the little talk that we had with the 4-Hers, I guess.
Well, I mean that's kind of open doors. So a lot of the 4-Hers actually are part of. I don't want to say a lot of that puts a stigmatism on them. There's a couple of kids within the 4-H group that are homesteaders, and so that opened up a conversation of, hey, can we come to the farm? Can we? Do you guys do tours? Can you, teach class? Kind of get these kids some hands-on experience. And I thought that was, I mean, that's cool that door is opening up you know, it gives us a chance to kind of, because we haven't done that stuff either. So we want to do that. We want to do farm tours, but is a low key kind of thing, kids and farm tours and not doing like a whole like extravagant, I don't know, kind of thing.
Well, I think
It just kind of gets your feet wet on.
we've talked about doing both. I mean,
Yeah.
we want to do both, but we want to be able to first and foremost be able to have the educational, and it's a great place to be able to start with the youth
Yeah.
and be able to get them out here. And they're talking about bringing out even monthly and doing classes for their science classes and um, several different areas of their schooling. But they can come out and do that kind of stuff for the homeschool groups around here. So that's definitely something we're very interested in and
Yeah.
doing, and then it's building on that and getting the community center built and the classroom built within the community center, and having more and more people out, and we're always welcome to have people. Always welcome. We're always inviting more people to come out, and we're getting a lot of interest in more people coming out. And so that's definitely we want to set up to where well, I believe this past weekend they had Self Reliance Festival. So I'm not sure.
Yes.
I think Spags went to it. I'm pretty sure he went to it. So I I wasn't able to go this time, and I'd be very interested in how that all went. And I believe Spags spoke there. Grumpy Acres spoke there. Tag
Oh, that's
spoke there.
right. A lot of
So
you guys had gone
yeah,
down.
a lot of them had gone down, and but building something like that, there again, having be able to have that, having speakers, and having that education around that as well. So, um, Big Kid said, "Did any of you see the pics on freesetting where I played on the D4 yesterday? Had a ball, but wore out today." And I did not, but
What's the D4?
Dozer,
Oh, oh, the deep, like what we've got over there.
yeah, the
Oh,
D4 is bigger than that one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about. I mean, that's what a D4. So,
woo.
but yeah,
You want to come dig out a pond or two or three,
or four, yeah.
or make one? We have a place that we need made. Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember on this place now behind the house here, we've got a pretty steep hill, a big hill. In fact,
A big
it's a big hill, and that's where I learned to run a dozer. Actually, was I was probably about 13 or 14 years old, and my great grandfather got me up on it, and it was a open station early cat. I'm not sure which. It was probably a '60s model. I'm not exactly sure what the model is on it, but and taught me about when I was about 13, and I looked over, and about 20 minutes into it, he was gone. He went to lunch, and I was bulldozing the hillside. So that's how I learned how to run a dozer.
I think your grandma was a little perturbed.
No, she was perturbed that he wanted to. There was part of that hillside went down. And it was steep enough that you didn't go down with a tractor, but it needed to be mowed, or he wanted to mow it. And his idea was for me to be on the brush hog on the tractor, and he would lower me with the dozer down the hill. And she didn't want nothing to do with that at that point. So that was what he was trying to do. So yeah, D4 cat. No way to trailer it, but I am working on a pond now here at home. I was out taking trees where the pond is going. This is a 70 or 71. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, we've got a. I'm not sure what dozer this is sitting out here. I actually grew up with a 60 cat back in from 1920. I believe it was built in 1927. It was actually one of the very first cats. Of course, most people don't know this, but Best
Yeah.
and Holt, which are two companies that built crawlers, combined to make Caterpillar, and that was one of the very first Caterpillars we had. It's actually still in the family, and so Spags is back on. So he may have dropped off, but
Bird's eye view. Hello.
from Bird's Eye View. Good evening. So I've ran that thing many times, but yeah, it was a piece of work. I mean, you started it by the flywheel, stuck a rod in that flywheel, and primed it over to top dead center, and it it was a heck of a thing to start. So
Yeah, I remember sometimes it took a good 10 minutes to get that thing.
yeah,
It was
sometimes
like
if it wasn't done right, it'd take a little bit while,
for
but
that compression to get going.
yeah. So
But you guys used to put that on the sawmill over at the steam engine show.
Yeah. But it
And
didn't do very well. I mean, it was 60 horses. You can do a lot with 60 horse, but it didn't pull a sawmill very well. But so, well, what's been going on around the farm?
lots of planting whenever we can get to it.
Yeah, it's been raining quite a bit. It seems like this week is going to probably break. We're going to break
That's
70
what I
degrees.
say every week.
We're going to break 70 degrees this week for the first time this year.
Are you
So
sure? Because back in
they put 70 degrees several times in the forecast this week now. 70 on Thursday, Friday, 66 on Thursday, 70s in the Friday, and then next week, Monday, Monday, Tuesday are all in the 70s. So we should be hitting that stride where temperatures are going to start coming up. I know some lows. There's lows in the 50s. So that's good for us. We've been getting just rain constantly, but we're starting to dry out now. There's some here and there rain, so it'll be hot and heavy for outside crops now going in. We've got lots of crops already in, but we've got a lot of crops ready to go in.
The
greenhouse
gardens are just wet.
Packed full.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mike. Indiana Mike is here with us. So,
Hello, sir.
Big Kid says we hit 90 last Friday. I think it was after being 20 on a couple of days before that. Yeah.
That's hard. That 70-degree jump
Oh yeah.
is
Well,
really hard.
Friday we're going from 70s, mid 70s to 30.
That's hard. I mean, like today's high was, I think it was 52 when I looked at it today.
Oh, did it get 50? It said it was only 49.
And it was just absolutely gorgeous. Like if you did anything more, I mean, yeah, you would have broke a sweat just because of, you're used to 30 degrees in a coat, and
Yeah,
that sun was shining. There wasn't much breeze. It was just
which is a rarity up here this year too. Wind has just been crazy.
Yes, it has.
So
yes, it has. But we were able to get onions planted in the dark or as dusk was coming on.
Yeah, we got 6,000 onions put in this past week. So
and we put those in with the paper pot. So actually, that's like it's 6,000 plants, but it's only 300 bed. No, I don't want to say that. 3 beds.
It's 400 per bed. It's 100. That's 400 per bed.
Yeah, so 1,200.
12,000 bed feet.
Yeah.
12,000.
But 3 beds.
Yeah.
Just 3 beds.
It sounds like a lot, but it's.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it's not.
It will be a lot of onions. I mean, there is a lot of onions still in there, but it's not a tremendous amount. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine Big Kid says those jumps kill me with MS. Yeah,
oh, I imagine so.
That would play havoc on you, I'm sure.
Yes, it would.
So.
I know that there's a lot of folks that go towards the mountains because of MS.
Or deserts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Low humidity and pretty constant temperatures.
Yeah.
Well, we got tomatoes in the tunnel, and
do.
And more tomatoes going in every day. We've got 2 more beds. Yeah, 2 more beds of tomatoes that need to go in, but
yeah,
we've got salad mix in one that will come out later this week.
Yes. You think it'll be this week or first of next week?
That will probably go out this week, and then the other bed should come out late next week. That's the plan, at least.
And then we've got cucumbers that are ready to go into.
So no, they're already in. We put them in tonight.
That wasn't in the plan.
Done. I want cucumbers coming out of the ground.
Green onions and lettuce were supposed to go in. Did you get the green onions in?
Everything's ready for the green onion.
Did you get the drip line on?
Yep.
Sweet. I can plant green onions for
more green onions. You got green onions coming out your ears, but just not in the tunnel.
Well, and not the quantity is.
Yeah.
We only plant like 25 feet of green onions at a time. So yeah, we've got green onions coming out our ears, but there's only like little sections that come out or get harvested at a time.
Yeah.
So that we're.
What did I tell you we picked last night? Was it 116 bunches of radishes?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we did go ahead and pull. So there was we've been started pulling off of them 2 weeks ago. And it's our first. It was our first planting
Of
of
radish, yeah.
radishes this year, and I forget when you actually put those in.
I'd have to go back and look, but
It's been a lot longer than what we thought it was going to be.
well, not really, but yes. Turnips
Yeah,
are
like a week or two. We might be able to start harvesting those next
they're
week.
nickel size,
Yeah, so
and we
depending
like
on how
them.
much water we keep feeding them.
We like them golf ball size. Yeah.
To softball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they should start coming out next week. The pak choi in H2
It's coming
either
along
the
with
end
right
of
along.
this week or because they're supposed to be minis. They're not.
Yeah.
So they actually are about ready to be harvested too.
So Big Kid had asked, do you guys buy all your seed or save it from year to year? So most of our seed, well, in fact, I should say all of our seed we buy every year.
Yeah.
With the production that we do, um, I buy seed every year. I do it both ways. So I buy seed every year that is heirloom seed. So if something was to go awry, we have that availability to be able to plant that and save that seed. And I always buy that every year, essentially just to keep a seed bank keep going. Um, but what we have found, and freezing it does help tremendously. But what we have found is for our consistency, we've got seed that is a year old that is not doesn't germinate very well at all. So we tend to order at least once a month, and we just order all of our seed just for our consistency.
Yes.
Um, and yes, that's the other thing. Just as you said, Big Kid, the seed saving itself is a job of itself. Um, so it's one of those enterprises really that you could do, but I leave that to the seed companies, and that's why I pay them the dollars that I pay them, and I just use it for rather than me using that time, I use it to grow it, and I'll let somebody else save that seed and produce that seed. So
You know what though? If you had a couple farms that were kind of working together on, just say homesteading, farmsteading kind of thing
oh,
and not a
absolutely.
commercial thing, I think a good idea would be to like have one farm that is like your production farm of where all your food comes from. The other farm is, your seed producer or at
Yes,
least of certain varieties, kind
that's what
of.
I would say is you're going to have if you had, let's just say you have 4 farms that are working together.
Yeah.
One farm, everybody does what they do, and obviously they work together. But one farm would have lettuce that they save seed out of, and the other farms can grow other different types of lettuce. The
Well,
problem
that's probably
is
true.
you can't grow multiple types of lettuce because it'll hybridize and all this other stuff. So if you're going to do tomatoes and save seed off tomatoes, you can really only have that tomato variety at that time
Yeah, I guess
blooming.
you really would have to say this farm produces tomatoes to eat and lettuce for seed, and this farm over here, for 2 farms, says, you grow tomatoes for seed and lettuce to eat,
Yeah,
so that you don't have all that conflict back and forth.
yeah, and Big Kid says the way things are, you may want to keep seed saving in the back of mind. Yeah, and I know I've got at least 1 or 2 books, some nice big books that for that purpose of detailed how each plant is seed saved and the process with each thing. And then, like I said, we do keep multiple years of seed
Yes.
frozen
Yeah, we
that
do.
are heirloom, straight all heirloom. And some of our seed is heirloom, so we could save the seed. But at this point, we just choose not to.
Well, and even on some of our regular seeds, I mean, even if we have like a handful of seeds or something left over from that year, we don't just go throw it out. I mean, we kind of keep
Yeah, yeah,
old seeds for a good couple years. You know, the germination's not going to be good on them as well, but
yeah. It all depends. I mean, I
at least we have something.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, and it all yeah, like I said, it depends on what kind of crops they are and all this other stuff and successional stuff and all that. Yeah, but
Well, and if
yeah,
you're going to do your seed saving though, I mean that's a full year
oh yeah.
before you even get.
Well, depending on what it is.
for the most part before you even get that seed back to actually
It Yeah, it depends on what it is. I mean,
grow.
you can get tomatoes off of any tomato. You can get
Yeah, I guess
lettuce
that's true.
whenever it goes to bolt.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of different stuff. So,
Mm.
but yeah, it's always a good idea to keep and have that seed availability to save. And obviously with our operation, the room that we have, I keep back quite a bit of seed. I mean, we've got a lot of heirloom seed that I could put in the ground in a lot of space.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and feed a lot of people if we needed to. So,
Yeah. Something I started thinking about this week was okay, so now we've got produce coming out of the gardens. Like last night, we were washing all these radishes, and there's some that have, a little bit of bug damage or, they got too much water, so they split. Well, those are ones that we keep back for ourselves or feed to the dogs because for whatever reason, the dogs love them. And how to how to go ahead and preserve that food. So, the radishes are kind of one of those you could ferment them, you could pickle them, you could I don't know what else to do with them kind of thing, but you just start thinking of okay, you have produce coming out, now I need to start thinking about how I'm going to keep it, can it, whatever. Um Something that I thought about the other day was the spaghetti sauce. We're using spaghetti sauce from like 5 years ago that I canned, and sometimes the peppers and tomatoes don't exactly match up at the same time, and I freeze a lot of peppers, but probably dehydrating them this year.
freeze drying would be really nice.
Well, freeze drying them or just throwing them in the oven to dehydrate them. I need to look that up and see how that works. But like, so we had green onions that um, they didn't germinate well, and I didn't want to plant them because it's kind of pointless to plant only one when in there should have been seven. And so I just cut all the tops off of them, and I'm going to dehydrate the tops for chives. So, do I put them in like a Mylar bag and a, an oxygen absorber in there? Do I just throw it into a seasoning, container with an
There's all
oxy?
kinds of
I
different
mean,
ways to do it.
there's that starts where my head starts going to whenever we start getting all this produce coming out of the gardens, which is a good thing. Um,
Yeah, we
of
grow
how
it.
to,
We got to learn how to do more storage of it.
yeah,
Yeah. So.
yeah,
And big kid, you're right. I mean, once if you can save them, they do start to acclimate to areas and
that's
start to take
true.
on your microclimates because everybody has a microclimate. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We are a very windy area right here, but that's our microclimate. It's not windy necessarily in North Missouri all the time,
No.
but we just sit high enough that that's where we have a lot of. So what else has been going on?
Oh, we have piglets.
We did have some piglet.
We did have piglets.
So
So we've got six of those little kids running around.
she was as far as we know, this is her. We think it's her second time actually
Yeah, we think it's our
birthing,
second.
but the first time it was kind of a surprise. She didn't look pregnant, and it was out in the middle of nowhere, and that would have been her
It was the
first time.
middle of
It had
winter.
been in the middle of winter, which normally isn't a big deal. I mean, it was 15 degrees out when these piglets were born, but she was not in a good spot this time, and it kind of caught us by surprise on this time too. And she had 14 actually out of this litter, and six only made it because of they were born in the middle of the night. And again, we were kind of caught off guard with this, which is kind of unusual for us, but it is what it is on that. Um, so, big kid, the she is a large black, um, purebred as far as we know, large black, and then she's been bred by a mule foot boar, and he was sold as a purebred to the guy that I bought him from, and he never got papers with him, so I don't know that he's actually a purebred mule foot, but he is He's Mulefoot by by everything we can tell. So
Yeah, and actually, her babies, you would think everything would be black, but
oh, she's thrown all kinds of colors
she's
too.
got all sorts of colors in there.
So Mulefoot pigs are, I believe, they're on the endangered
Mhm.
or they're threatened. They are an old heritage breed. They do very well on pasture, um,
Foraging.
foraging, um, but they are mule footed. So they do not have a cloven hoof. They are a mule foot um, on them. So how did he manage to mount?
He's
Well,
big,
he's a big boy. He's probably, I'm guessing he's probably 600 pounds. He's bigger than the large black.
and well, I'm 5'7", and he's up to my hip. Like, his back hits my hip.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's big.
Just like the American, yep, yep, the American guinea hog, yep. It's he's a lot bigger than the American guinea hogs, but he is
He's
all of
gentle.
all the piglets have been really good that we've had out of him. Um, he's not he's a very gentle boar.
Yeah.
He stays behind that one hot wire. He's had piglets run around all around him. He's never messed with the piglets. He's never acted aggressive to any of the kids or anybody. So
Mm-mm. No, well,
no,
the only time he has been
when you spooked him,
well, when he knows that he needs to be with the girls, and we try to keep him away from
yeah, and then he can
everybody.
be persistent.
Yes,
He's not
he's
necessarily
persistent.
he's not necessarily aggressive, but
No,
he's determined.
he's
Yeah,
determined. That's a good
no,
way.
mulefoot are not a small breed. No, at mulefoot are would be like a large black
Yes.
breed.
Yeah.
Very very coarse black hair. Um, yeah, I mean they're pure.
Not floppy eared. I mean,
No,
they do have floppy ears, but not as big,
not like a large
or
black.
yeah, not covering like a large black does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, they're I don't even know how to explain it. They're not a long pig. He's big, but he's not long.
But he's not like an old spot, short,
Yeah, not quite
stubby
there.
thing
He's in
either.
between them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we had those piglets, so they're all running around like crazy. Um, a few of them. We had one other sow that there's
That was
three
part of it.
sows in that group, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
we have three sows now, and one of them is kind of she just kind of walks around nonchalant, and she ended up, I think, on three of them right next to her.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they kind of caught us off guard because they had hay, but we were going to expand their thing to more hay, and that didn't get done in time. So, uh, yep, hypocrite. So that's why I like my big kid said. That's why I like my American Guinea Hog. They are never aggressive. I didn't know they were a large breed. Thanks. Yep. Um, lard, back fat, meat, adults, male and female, 400 to 600 pounds. They're docile. Yep, and a level beginner, I would say that's very, very much so. I mean, we've had him since he was a
He was 2.
no, he wasn't two.
He was almost 2.
He was tiny.
Yeah, he
He
was.
wasn't two. I think he was 6 months, and he had bred
Oh, I
another.
thought he was
No, he
just
was
at
six
breeding
months.
age.
Yeah, about
Well,
6 months.
okay, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he was about 6 months when we got him, and he's every bit of. I think he's been on a diet for a while. Ella's had him on. I leaned him up a little bit, so he's probably about 500, 550. But he was every bit of 600. I mean,
He gets
he's got
fat.
the full tusk coming out. I mean, he looks like he could, and he could. Let's not kid yourself. He could tear you apart, but he doesn't have a he doesn't have it in him. I don't think so.
So I have heard that about the mule foots being very fatty and made for the lard. And the mix that we have going on between, well, we haven't had any out of the large black, but we have had finishers out of the mule foot and then an old spot. and then the mule foot and those are Burke.
She was a Burkamp, I think, is what she the other sow that's in there. We have the sow and we have a daughter of the sow in there.
Yeah, and
Um,
their piglets finished out really nicely. There is a good set of fat off of there, and we do get good lard back off of them.
but it's
But
not pure.
it's
It's not
not pure fat
It's not like a
whatsoever.
Mangalese or anything.
Yeah, no, you have a good ratio of fat to meat out of your pig once you harvest. So, in the lard off of it melts down really well
Yeah,
and
clean,
clean.
everything.
Yeah.
Good evening, Starla.
Hello.
Good to see you. And yeah, big kid. They don't do very well if they're overfed, so they prefer to like we said, be out there like American guinea hog and forage. They do root up some, but again, it's more of boredom. If we move them quickly, the piglets do more damage than the pigs do, than the sows do.
They do.
So if we move them, and especially if I have like fresh oats growing in the pastures and stuff like that, they're moving quick and they are getting fat off of that by itself almost. So hold on to your hats, but I have a golden colored American guinea hog female. Interesting. She's been over a year old, and I hope she gets bred soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got
One of our sows might actually be heading out.
Yeah, yeah. The older one's probably going to be heading out. She's what had 3 litters now, but she's not been taken very well. So don't know.
And she's a good pig.
Oh yeah, she screams a lot and wants to be vocal, but
She's very needy.
oh yeah, very talkative, very needy.
Very talkative.
So yes, yeah. American guinea hog are all black. Yep. Yeah, which is
So where'd you get the golden from? I assume. What's the boar?
I don't know. Maybe.
Did you tell us what the boar was?
No.
Okay.
So, did we burn last time? We had burnt that other one before then.
We had burnt the big field.
But we've got some more burning done. So today would have been an excellent day to burn up here. So he has no idea.
Oh. So AI or
Purebred.
but it's not black.
Could be a recessive gene in there somewhere.
Okay.
So
Maybe that's why we're getting colors too.
no, there's definitely somebody. Obviously, is not purebred in our herd. In those either that large black or whatever. So
that's okay.
Yeah, no shit. He says. But yeah, or
So
L'Oreal
box. That's funny.
Give him a good hair dye. Highlights.
Ooh.
The pig got highlights. So
got a golden suntan.
let's see. Did you go to your You went to your first market. We haven't been on since your first market either, have we?
No, we haven't.
So you went down to your first market down in Kansas City.
Yeah, that was good.
You got to meet.
I got to meet
Cul-de-sac.
Yep.
So
that was good to see her put a face to the name. That was good. We had an interesting ride back, which was I'm glad that it was the ride back and not,
I didn't go.
Yeah, he didn't go.
I was working up here, so
he was working, but had a tire blow on the trailer, so that was an extra couple hours trying to get that figured out on the way home. So that was good that it was on the way home and not on the way there, because that would have been a total disaster.
Well, and because it was your first market, we didn't have the spare tire. We didn't have a jack. We didn't have no tools. We had nothing in the trailer.
We didn't prepare for anything like that.
It's all in the trailer for next time. But
yeah.
Luckily, your father was with you, so
this is true. My dad came to the rescue. He drove us down, and he has tools galore in his truck all the time. So
yep, that was a good thing.
That was good.
So how did market go?
Market went really well.
Good.
Good people.
Met some new people.
Yep.
So be going back not
Yep.
this coming weekend.
Easter weekend.
Easter weekend on the Saturday.
8th.
So
Yep. It
this is our
opens up.
first official spring market.
Yes. Well, regular market.
Regular market.
Yeah, their market season opens up in April down there. And then the Chillicothe market opens May.
Is it towards the end of May, isn't it?
No, it's May 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we'll go there, and then we also have got have been invited to fill in. We didn't get a spot in the second market, but in Liberty, in the historic district in Liberty Farmers Market, we are going to be the first alternate in that market. So I will be going down to that market on Saturdays when
needed.
When they need it. So that's going to be interesting. Now, while she was at market, I had the exact same. I was having car trouble.
Oh, it's been a car deal.
Because I was driving along the gravel road doing the mail, and I have a backup, which is just an HHR. It's not my normal vehicle now, but the road was pretty bad. It was cold that day.
Yes, it was cold that day.
It was in the teens, and I had about an hour left and hit a rut and scraped the bottom of the car bad enough on that rut that it ripped the oil pan. Big old gashing hole in the oil pan. So I lost all the oil pretty quick in that car. So that made for an interesting afternoon too, because I had nobody to help me.
That was probably about the same time that I called you and was like, "Are you done yet? Because we need a ride."
It was a little after that. So, but all is well now. Got the oil pan and just gotta get it fixed.
So. It's still on the trailer.
Yeah, and it will be.
That's probably going to be the easiest place for you to fix it, I think.
I can't get underneath it anyway, so.
Skinny?
No.
So
Big Kid's had a closed herd for 7 years. So it's probably been bred out anyways, but I don't know. That's interesting. Like I said, there's recessive genes and everything, and the right thing clicked.
The redhead came out.
But let's see. What else has been going on?
There really just has been a lot there's been a lot that's been going on.
There has been, and this is obviously our getting into full mode for us. I mean, tomatoes are in, cucumbers are in, lettuces are in, everything's getting ready to go outside as soon as it dries up. I mean, and there again, we're putting row cover on everything, so that's kind of a pain. But it's any day now. We're in full fledged go mode. We're up potting every day. In fact, after we get done here, we've got several more flats of tomatoes got to get up potted. We're up potting herbs. I've got some rosemary up potted today.
I was only gone for like 2 hours to run to town, and he's planting tomatoes and up potting.
Yes, the trailer does have a wooden deck, and that is a good idea just to move the wood off underneath the car right there. I can actually get up underneath there and then have a space right there where the oil pan is, so I can take it off. So that's a good idea. Otherwise, I have ramps I can put the car up on and jack up the back and put it up on wheel jack and get it up off the air too. So I can do that as well.
That sounds dangerous.
What, that?
Yeah.
No. Why? You just take in the middle of the board. Not the boards with tires are.
You're talking about taking boards off of the trailer. I thought you meant like you're gonna back the car off onto something so that it's propped up.
Oh, I could do that too. I could take the skid loader bucket and back the car off with the skid loader bucket.
That's not.
Yeah, that's where he was going. Yeah, removing the trailer boards. I don't know. I kind of like the skid loader idea too.
No, I like. Let's do the trailer boards. That's a better idea.
Here, David, watch this.
They're screwed in, which I guess that's no big deal.
Yeah,
no, you can get.
I can take those off pretty easily because the front We actually have it. This one's it's on a tilt trailer,
Oh, that would work better.
so you could
Just
actually
take the front ones off and just pull forward.
yeah
Well, push.
push forward. Yeah, don't pull forward. Don't start it. So makes a bad bang bang now loud noise probably at this point. But
Good thoughts. Good thoughts. Good job.
thank you, big kid. That's a good idea.
That'll work.
But yeah, as far as everything goes with that, then it's really a lot of it at this point trying to get um, everything ready because now the days are getting warm enough. Everything is automated for the most part on our high tunnels,
Oh,
except
yes.
not water, but they're on timers, so it's a
Just say
simple.
water.
That's easy. But the greenhouse is not automated yet, so that's where we kind of have to be careful with. We're having to make sure that that's opened up, and I've got to get motors on those curtains and all this other jazz. But irrigation is our big, my
That's
big to do is trying to get all the irrigation on top of everything else ready to go because once it's once it's go time, the irrigation's got to work, and I'm not sure I have enough flow as it is today, and so I'm working on other ideas, but yeah, I've done it more than once, so trailer, but
oh,
yeah, no, not the irrigation.
not the
Yes, I've done the
irrigation.
irrigation more than once too, but as you expand and you do more and more and more, um, I've done the figures and the amount of bed space we have now. We have the pressure. I've got, and we're still using city. I need to get well done, but that's hopefully down the road. I'm also working on a irrigation out of the pond
Mhm.
because we have two ponds to irrigate out of. So that's the next. That's also one of the things that I can up my pressure and my flow volume for that. But I have the pressure. I just don't have the volume that I need off the county water system. And so that's the heck I'm playing with on that because the volume is not there. So I'm downsizing pipe and doing all this other jazz. And I'm also trying to get more water line put in
Yeah.
so that I'm not messing around with busting hoses because I can put out a 80 psi hose and it'll bust. Because I can have up to 120 pounds of pressure out here. If I put a pressure reducer on it, well, then I don't get enough volume. Blah blah blah. But anyway, just woke up. Yeah, he's been traveling, so I imagine you just woke up.
Big
So
kid. If you have any heavy truck jack stands and a 6-ton floor jack, you can also lift the trailer to do.
yeah, and I have skid loader too, so I can lift up that and do that way too. So,
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
true.
but yeah.
That's true.
Well, Tag, you're on here. How did Self Reliance Festival go? That was one thing we had talked about a little earlier. Well, we weren't able to make it this time, but I know that you and Spags and all were down there, so kind of wondering how that all went. But
Yeah, I'm sure you'll catch everybody up on that this week too.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what else. Lots of infrastructure, lots of cleaning up for when people come out.
We have been doing a lot of trash burning, which we don't have a lot of trash sitting around, so it's kind of weird that we have
No, it's
a
just
lot of.
spring clean.
It
It's
is.
been what kind of we've been doing, just
Yeah.
getting organized, moving stuff here. Of course, with all the construction that we've had, doing that kind of stuff, and
Yeah. Just
but
getting
just getting
things
everything.
picked back up again, and like everybody has stuff you just kind of set down and all come back to it, and you got little piles everywhere.
Well, when you have this barn and you have this barn and you have that barn and that building and this greenhouse and this greenhouse, and yeah,
Yeah, we've been consolidating,
then you start cleaning up one, and
and it's a mess for everything else.
so yeah, and trying to store everything. I mean, trying to get all the fertilizers stored and just everything, feed and all that good stuff. So,
Getting the tools put up in the high tunnel was good though.
well, yeah, organization
Organization.
makes you more efficient, makes the day go by faster. But yeah, simple thing. I mean, and
It
it
is.
really is when it comes down to it. A lot of farming is in the details.
Yeah,
So
efficiencies. Knowing where things are whenever you need to go find them.
I know where they're at. They're in the last project I was working on, which is the problem. What was I working
That's
on last?
that's true. And then sometimes it takes us 5 minutes to go, was it that?
Yeah,
No, there was something behind that I used that for. Okay, it could be there.
exactly. That's the problem. So that's why you have a toolbox in the greenhouse now. You can have your own sets of tools out there. You don't have to walk back to my shop to get more tools, or you have tools out there.
So don't steal my tools.
I'm not stealing your tools. Don't steal my tools. Yeah.
Oh, I think there's some stuff in there that doesn't need to go in there.
Oh, there's always stuff in there. Yeah.
I mean, like that you got it moved in there, but we need to like organize that. Did you organize that when you were putting that together?
No.
You were
What?
just putting crap
The
in it.
toolbox?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't put just crap in there. It's all water parts and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, no, most of it belongs in there.
Okay.
So that's a spot that you pass by, and that's going back to lean farming. If it's someplace you're passing by every time that's where I want stuff at, because you pass going there, you pass coming back. So therefore, it should be the easiest place for you to get tools. So, and if all my watering stuff is out there, then all my watering stuff's out by the gardens where I need it.
Yeah, it is out there.
So,
It's just moving tunnels.
but again, I need to build more tables in the greenhouse and more tables. I'm going to build a workbench in that corner of the greenhouse for the chargers and all this other stuff, because they're always having drills and all that stuff. But no, I got the fertilizer out in the middle of the house so I can move it.
I can trip on it.
Didn't bother you today.
Wasn't actually. I'm not done with my greenhouse stuff for today.
I know you got a lot of seeding to do tonight.
I don't have trays for because we were gonna plant all that stuff.
I'm trying.
I have to run to the store in the morning.
Yep.
Well.
Tired from working when the dozer and cutting firewood yesterday. Took out about 8 more trees from the pond area. Yeah.
Firewood season should be just about over.
Well, technically, firewood season should just be starting, because you should cut everything that you need for next winter now.
True.
Of course, if it's 90 degrees, that sucks. Been there, done that. We'll probably be doing it this year too.
That's true.
I have an area that I just got logged, and that's all the firewood for next year, plus the many years after that, I'm sure, because there was a ton of oak in that I'll have to go back in and get. So
Yeah, we need to grapple through it. And...
Yep, next year's wood get cut now.
Yeah,
that's all we heat with is wood. So we haven't had to have the wood fire on for a while, but tonight we'll have to probably start when it's going to get back down to the 30s again. So, but
it was okay last night, and then I got cold. And then the dog stole the covers.
so, but yeah, nothing else been going on.
Baby cows, silly calves.
Had to take some cows to the vet for
I did.
hoof work.
Yep, we had abscess.
Had an abscess, 3 of them. So.
Stuff that happened.
Yep.
And they actually, I'd never seen it before because we don't ever really take cows in.
They put them on a turntable.
They did put them on a turntable. They put them in there. You put them in the chute, and they squeeze them together, and then
just one, not squeeze them. Cow, multiple cows.
Yes,
just one cow.
Just one cow.
They squeeze the cow.
Yeah, one cow on the chute. They squeeze it, and then it tilts them, and almost basically on their side for the most part. But then they trim them up like they do horses, with clippers and whatnot, and they scraped all the abscess out and got it all clean and whatnot. And then on the hoof that is not abscessed, they take a block of wood that is in the shape of the hoof. Clove. Thank you. That is
a cloven hoof.
Yeah, about like that. So what?
And that was actually a block of wood.
Yeah, it's a block of wood.
Normally they use lots of times they use a
It's a manufactured block of wood.
yeah, but lots of times they're using plastic now, like a polymer plastic. But
Well,
that's
maybe it was, but it looked like wood. I didn't touch it, but it looked like wood, and it had hatches in it. And then they just take epoxy and glue it to the clove, and
still the hoof. It's a cloven hoof. But
so
yeah.
pick a word. Okay,
I
so
don't know.
anyways, they glue it to the cow, to the foot, and it'll stay on there for a couple weeks, and so they're pinned up in a lot.
But they felt pretty good afterwards.
They definitely gave him some painkillers, and like Tylenol for cows, Banamine. And the next day, I went up and to give them their meds, and they were walking around just perfectly fine, like nothing had ever happened. So
That's good.
that is very good.
That's how we like it.
That is
We
very
like
good.
happy cows.
Happy
So.
cows. Yeah. So.
But no, grass is starting
So close.
starting to grow. So we're still feeding hay. And big kid, have a good night, and we will see you next time. Absolutely.
Yep.
So we are itching for the green grass to grow so that we're not feeding hay no more, just because it's one more thing off our plate.
It'll be a couple weeks though. It will be by the time, so that we're not chomping down.
Oh yeah,
things that are
yeah.
coming up.
Well, we'll go through our rotation, and
yeah,
the grass will be ready to go over there. So.
Yeah, we're still rotating them like we normally do.
Yeah, we don't ever do a sacrificial paddock or anything like that. So.
No.
But
so actually, the David and I moved cows over into the next pasture tonight, and they were all out there grazing. But I went ahead and fed them a bale, and they came over to the bale, even though there was minimal grass over. I say minimal. To me, it's minimal, but it's actually a fairly decent amount of grass that's still in the pasture.
Yeah.
That, but they came to the hay instead of the new sprigs that are in there.
Gotcha. Well, we got I think the microgreen video went out this morning.
It did. I watched it.
Okay, it did. Was you okay with my editing?
Yes. It was fine.
I was so tempted to leave some stuff in there. But I think next video, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the oddball one that we've got and do the cantaloupe.
Oh, yeah, I told somebody about that tonight, and she was super excited.
So I did get some cantaloupe microgreen seed, and everything I've heard about it, everything I've read about it, it is one of everybody's favorites. So we are growing it, and I think that's what I'm going to do a video on, but we'll show you start to finish what it looks like and everything, because we'll have it for this next time. So
that'd be a good one.
I think, won't we? No, we will not have it then to cut. So I'll have to do a different one. We'll probably do radishes. I'll do a radish video, and the next one after that.
It won't be ready to cut, but it'll be grown enough to be able to see what it looks like.
That's very possible. So
because it'll be like
it's
3 days away from being cut.
Yeah, I'll either do radishes or I'll do the melons.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So we'll do that for Monday. Micro Monday.
Micro Monday.
But I think we're going to jump off of here.
Yep, Kate's rolls are ready.
I'll cook us some eggs and some salad and ham. And then we're going to the greenhouse. So we are going to bid you all adieu and jump off here for the night. And yeah, we will see you next time. So until next time, you're just waiting to say it.
I'm just waiting for you to like.
You're just waiting to say it. You're like the kids at the meeting, ready to adjourn. Somebody want emotion.
Emotion. No, that is so funny. If you ever been to a 4-H meeting, like through the whole meeting, the kids are, will you make a motion? I need somebody to make a motion, and then they get to the last one. I guess it's kind of like a church meeting too. Church where, okay, I think we're ready to adjourn, and everybody's like, "Ooh,
I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll even second it."
Hippocrates says
No.
I like do so. And good night, AMC. Good night.
Good night.
But yeah, so
Anyways,
we'll jump out of here. So until next time,
pull up a chair.
and welcome to Tabletop Farm.
See you guys.
See you guys.